Why don't you get a drug test or something? Because you ain't been acting right. I shouldn't have said that. I take that back. All the way back. Maybe. But something ain't right with you. Something ain't right with you.
This picture of Gypsy and Ken has been floating around the last couple of days, and can we just talk about this for a second? Because I already have been extremely concerned for Ken and his well-being the last several months. For a while, we weren't even hearing from him, and then he randomly pops up when they're moving out of their house because they got evicted, you know? And then this is a resurfaced picture. I don't know who posted it or where it came from, but Ken looks like a wax figure. Like, he is completely vacant in the eyes. He has this fake little smile plastered on his face, and she's sitting there next to him, proud as a peacock. Like, proud as can be. Gypsy, what are we proud of? Because he looks completely dead in the eyes sitting next to you.
I would love to get opinions from, like, moms who have autistic children with the whole Nick thing, the way Gypsy is still vilifying him and trying to say he's just the most violent person ever. Because the way autism is talked about today, I think it would have been taken so much more seriously. Like, yes, he killed someone, he should be in prison or a mental hospital, but so should she. Gypsy told him that Dee Dee had cancer, she was going to die anyways, a painful, slow death. Gypsy told him that the only way they could be together is if he'd do this, and he was in love with her. Don't even get me started on how similar Nick and Ryan are. Oh my god, the loyalty. But, like, they were saying he has Asperger's. You don't even say that now. It's level 2 autism. Like, that's how much things have changed. I just know if this happened like a year ago, Gypsy would be in jail with him.
Girl, real quick, where are you watching from and what time is it right now? Drop it in the comments, okay? And if you haven't already, like, hit subscribe and turn on the notifications, bestie, because, yeah, we need to talk about Gypsy Rose Blanchard again. Okay, so, this one's kinda wild. Like, I've been trying to wrap my head around it, but Gypsy lately, she's giving so much entitlement energy, it's insane. And I mean, I get it. She's been catered to her entire life. Dee Dee literally did everything for her. But there's a difference between being loved and being enabled, and honestly, some people just cannot receive love no matter how much you pour into them, you know? Like, you could give them the whole world and they'll still find a way to burn it down. And allegedly, that's exactly what we're seeing with Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Because, bestie, let's be real. Anyone who could do what she did to her own mother and then just take zero accountability, laugh about it, lie without a hint of guilt, that's not normal. Like, that's next level cold. You really start to wonder if anyone she talks to actually gets the full story or if she's just constantly spinning her little web of lies. Apparently, even Gypsy herself admitted that she's only ever been partially honest. Like, she said something along the lines of, "This is kinda the first time I've been honest, besides with my attorneys, and even then, not completely."
Has talked to feels they're getting the full story.
This is actually kind of the first time I've been honest. Besides being honest, you know, with my attorneys. Even that, I haven't been completely honest with them, so. My mother, I could lie and think nothing of it. But this was a really big secret. My life, yeah. She taught me how to be a good liar. A very good liar without any conscience. Wasn't myself. I had been taking narcotics such as Xanax and Vicodin. I was high. Very high. I was on a bunch of medications, and I know that's no excuse, but on Xanax, I felt like I had no emotion, and I wasn't thinking right.
That night?
I was, during that week, abusing painkillers. However, that was not something that affected my mental state at that time.
Like, girl, what? You're literally telling us you lie as a hobby. And now she's out here allegedly going back and forth with content creators online, trying to convince people her version of events is the real one. Like, ma'am, not you jumping into YouTubers' comments trying to run PR. So, one of the messages she allegedly left was this long paragraph basically saying, "How come ever since I've been out of my mom's control, I don't need a feeding tube, I can eat whatever I want, I go for jogs, I don't have muscular dystrophy, I don't have epilepsy, I don't have breathing issues." Like, okay, Gypsy, we heard you. She was basically saying that since she doesn't have all those illnesses anymore, her mom must have been lying the entire time. And she even got a little shady in the message, saying she doesn't usually comment on that creator's videos because they're more of a gossip channel than a factual one. Girl, please. Not you talking about gossip when your whole life became a Lifetime movie.
Finally get an answer from Gypsy Rose why all the inconsistencies between her documentaries and interviews. So Gypsy Rose states that these small inconsistencies are due to the fact that the media over-exaggerated and made the story something it's completely not. Then she blames some content creators that it's their fault because it's like a game of telephone where one person says something to the next person and the next person, and before you know it, it's a completely different story. That's not it at all, because in these documentaries and interviews, Gypsy Rose is saying the information straight from her mouth. And I'll give you a little bit of an example.
Anyway, she said she genuinely wanted to humor the creator and get an explanation, asking why all her illnesses only existed when her mom was alive, listing off epilepsy, muscular dystrophy, cancer, leukemia, heart disease, asthma, hearing issues. Like, she went down the list, okay? And I'm just sitting here like, even if, for argument's sake, Dee was lying about some of those things, how does that justify what happened next? Like, are we really saying that's an excuse to have someone, do what they did 17 times? Girl, be so for real. Because allegedly, that's what happened. Dee was attacked in the most brutal way possible, and Gypsy was right there. And no matter how she tries to twist it now, it doesn't erase the fact that she played a major role in it. That's not self-defense. That's premeditated. You can talk all day long, Gypsy, but the facts, the evidence, the reality, they don't change. And honestly, neither of them were saints. Dee was manipulative, controlling, all that. But Gypsy, she's no victim here either.
And how far did you go in school?
Out the second grade.
How do you play
School?
I've never been to school.
Never got to go to kindergarten?
No, sir.
Up till second grade, and that you are so
Attended school for 1 year. Kindergarten. After that, Mama pulled me out to homeschool me. Except that was a lie. She didn't register me as...
That's one example out of many, many that Gypsy Rose said out of her own mouthy. Small inconsistencies, but if you ask me, they're rather large. So do you think this is really at the media and content creators' fault, or do you think because it's straight out of Gypsy Rose's mouth that it all falls on her? Let me know.
In my opinion, both of them were living in this twisted cycle of lies and power. Now, here's the part that gets really dark. Gypsy once said she was in the bathroom the entire time during the attack, right? Like, that was her big defense. I didn't see it happen, I just heard it. But then later she mentions hearing her mom say things like, "Don't hurt me," and "Gypsy, help me." Like, how are you hearing that much detail if you were supposedly locked away in the bathroom? Make it make sense. And then there's a photo, allegedly taken around the time of her arrest, showing Gypsy's hands all bruised up. And not fresh bruises either, like that yellow-brown healing stage, which lines up perfectly with the timeline of the incident. So, yeah, that doesn't exactly scream innocent bystander.
Rose said, "It's not like anybody has set me down and gone over my medical records with me, explained it to me, and transcribed it in a way that I would understand. So all I can say is I have these memories." First off, Gypsy, I want to talk about your hearing test, ma'am. Hearing test shows mixed hearing loss today. Face reception threshold was 60 dB on the left and 70 dB on the right. It says Gypsy may in fact have hearing loss. She felt that Gypsy was possibly mulling around. Gypsy Gypsy also told us she had to strap them boobies down, but right here the doctor said she had hair down there and breast growth. Gypsy also swears that her mom gassed the hell about them symptoms. Right here when her mom was telling them how long it had been since she had a seizure, she said 4 months. When you think if her mom was trying to make her look sick as hell, she'd be like, nah man, she had one last week and the week before. But no, Dee was like 4 months ago. Gypsy said her mama damn starved her, but this doctor right here said Gypsy is small for her age, but grown steadily. No recent unusual weight loss or weight gain. Now, Gypsy, you also swore up and down that you thought you had cancer when your ass got arrested. Right there it says lymphoblastic leukemia at age 5 and has been in remission since. Is also when she had a bone marrow transplant at 5. Dee Dee was not actively saying Gypsy Rose had cancer. And in the post that Dee Dee made trying to get donations, she never said Gypsy Rose was actively fighting cancer. She said she had a history of acute lymphoblastic leukemia. There's Gypsy real big in that specially made Mandalorian suit. These reports in 2012, the other ones in 2013. Gypsy was treated for ALL at the age of 5 for 1 year and has been in remission. And if you want to find out the truth, read through your medical records. As they ran hella tests on you and you are answering some of the questions they asked. A lot of your damn medical records are self-explanatory with a shit ton of notes to explain things.
Plus, there was reported blood spatter on a sweater she was wearing. And if you know anything about blood spatter, that only happens when you're in direct contact with or right over the victim. So, do with that information what you will, bestie. It also matches what people believe happened. That Dee was face down, possibly being held down while she was attacked. And if Gypsy was sitting or leaning over her, it would explain everything. The bruises, the spatter, the last words. All of it. Those last words, by the way. Reportedly, Dee said, "Don't hurt me." And it's honestly heartbreaking when you think about it, because it sounds like she was fading, realizing what was happening, and begging her daughter to stop. It's dark, it's disturbing, and it's something you can't just PR your way out of. And honestly, I low-key believe Gypsy is a ticking time bomb. Like, real talk. If she ever feels cornered again or triggered, I think she could absolutely re-offend. I'm not saying that to be dramatic, it's just her patterns are there.
Gypsy's friends said on a documentary that Gypsy was allowed to have friends but wasn't allowed to have boyfriends. But in a second clip, Gypsy says that she was not allowed to have any friends at all. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that she was allowed or wasn't?
Gypsy was not allowed to date boys. She was allowed to have friends, but boyfriends was completely out of the question.
The fact that you had no friends. I didn't have any friends. I wasn't allowed to.
So let me know which one you guys believe. Do you think that Gypsy was allowed to have friends or wasn't? In my opinion, she was, because she was allowed to go to all these Comic-Cons and talk to people. So yeah, something definitely sounds off in my opinion. Let me know what you think.
And poor Ken, like every photo of him lately, he just looks so drained. You can see it in his face. There's even this one picture people said was photoshopped, but like, forget the editing. Look at his expression. You can't fake that kind of exhaustion. It's giving, I'm stuck in something I don't fully understand. Gypsy allegedly just drains people. Emotionally, mentally, everything. And honestly, I don't know how long Ken can keep up with that. Something about their dynamic feels off, and that's just me being real. Okay, so, let's talk about this whole Gypsy and Ryan situation, because, girl, the mess just keeps messing. Like, every time I think it's calming down, they pop back up with something new. So apparently, Gypsy and Ryan have definitely been talking again. Like, there's no denying it. Allegedly. And honestly, it's giving unfinished business energy. You know that kind of ex where you should have blocked them, but instead you're out here liking each other's posts and throwing shade through emojis. Yeah, that.
You act like I don't know she has a kid with Ken. You act like I don't know that. Of course I know that. And no, I've never met Ken. He never wants to meet me. Believe me, he does not want to meet me. He cries like a little girl. He's a baby, all kind of shit when she talks to me. Yeah. I ain't never met somebody to take a baby away more than he does.
There's more, don't worry. But I was really surprised that they've never met before. He is the one that originally let us know that GRB said to him that Ken does retin to take away BABY. When they fight, that's like his go-to. You know their relationship isn't the healthiest, and it's things like these that confirm it.
So recently, Gypsy posted this little picture of her and Ken, her current husband, showing off a new bed. Cute, right? Except Ryan jumped online, basically implying he already knew about the bed because Gypsy told him she hated the old headboard. Like, Excuse me? You're telling your ex about your new man's furniture. Girl, what are you doing? That was Ryan's little way of saying, yeah, I still know what's going on in your house. Which, by the way, is kinda wild, but not shocking. Because allegedly, Gypsy tells everyone's business. Like, literally everyone. Family, friends, strangers. No one is safe. She's the kind of person who'll spill your tea, then act all wide-eyed like, wait, how did that get out? Girl, you are the leak. And rumor has it, she's the one who started that whole thing about Ken being, not into women. Yeah, that came from Gypsy herself. Allegedly. She apparently told Ryan, and then Ryan ran with it. So when you see him hinting or pushing that narrative online, that's where it came from.
Little punk ass bitch ass me. That's just me. Look, I'm not trying to get in that shit. Like, I'm not trying to get in it. I know y'all are asking questions. I know y'all are trying to rile me up to get me to drop tea or whatever. But guys, I lived it. I mean, people tell me, how would you feel if your wife got pregnant a month after she left and you never really saw her again? But yet, I have no idea the stuff that girl did. Or what she said or what she was saying. I have no idea. No idea. I wish she'd show up again and knock on the door and see what happens. Talk about coming to get some shit. Come get it.
Like, she lit the match and then stood back, pretending to be shocked at the fire. Anyway, Ryan went live recently, and you guys, this man was on one. He was being super sarcastic, saying stuff like, okay, Gypsy, sure thing, whatever you say. Gypsy, maybe get a drug test, you ain't been acting right. Like, not him calling her out like that in front of everyone. Now, he later tried to backtrack and said he didn't actually believe she was on anything. He only said it to get under her skin. Which, okay, but let's be real, you don't just pull that out of nowhere. You said it because at some point that thought crossed your mind. I mean, bestie, I kinda believe he meant it. Because if it wasn't a real issue between them, why bring it up at all? Ryan knew exactly what he was doing. That was his way of taking a public jab at her while pretending it's just banter.
Hey guys, need a job as Gypsy. Just so y'all know. Need a job as Gypsy. Gypsy, why don't you get a drug test or something? Gypsy, why don't you get a drug test or something? Because you ain't been acting right. I shouldn't have said that. I take that back. All the way back. Maybe. But something ain't right with you. Something ain't right with you.
I can't apologize for the sins of my mother. I've tried every which way to say, hey, I'm sorry that this is the life she chose to live, and I'm sorry that I was, a part of it in the fact that I was her pawn and being used along with everybody else. But that is not something I can continuously apologize for. I have my own life to live. I have a kid. I have a family, and I've got a life to live. I'm sorry, and I'm not. Deal with it. Just deal with it.
Amen. Amen.
Honestly, I think the whole Gypsy and Ryan dynamic runs way deeper than what we're seeing online. There's no reason they should still be in each other's orbit after everything that happened unless they both have dirt on each other. It's giving mutually assured destruction. And then there's poor Ken, or as some people like to call him, Kenny Boy. Oh my god, have y'all seen him lately? He looks drained. He's lost so much weight. His face looks sunken and he just looks exhausted. This man's eyes are literally screaming, help me. Every photo of him feels off. That forced smile, that blank stare, it's like he's performing happiness. And meanwhile, Gypsy's just out here smiling like life is peachy. Girl, what dimension are you living in?
Gypsy Rose Blanchard is spiraling over Ken not wanting to propose. Visions of Johanna put this together. Check it out.
Go to the grocery store, but before I go, I just want to make a video that I discovered that I am musically in love. Okay? I just discovered this guy. Don't judge me. I know he's been out for a couple of years, but his name is Bailey Zimmerman. And oh my god. Like, when I tell you I have his songs on repeat, like, I could probably like lip sync every song.
GRB has dropped hint after hint after hint, and Ken's not biting. Most recently in a live stream, the famous one where she said she doesn't know how to use bubble wrap. Well, she read a comment making sure Ken Urker was in the room, asking about where's her ring. Ken didn't seem very interested in giving an answer. Remember when Ken Urker's mother went on a live stream after several glasses of adult juice and spilled the tea? This was before the baby was born, that he had no interest, that they were dating and taking it slow. Y'all, that is literally not verbatim, but that's pretty much what she said.
And okay, there's this one picture floating around that people claim was photoshopped, but let's be honest, even if the proportions look weird, his expression says it all. You can't edit sadness out of somebody's eyes. Honestly, it's starting to look like Gypsy is unraveling again, allegedly. Like, one minute she's all about healing and new beginnings, and the next she's picking fights online, talking to her ex, and, get this, staring at random strangers in public like she's glitching. There was this clip of her supposedly just standing there, staring blankly at someone in a store. Like, girl, are you okay? It's giving unhinged, bestie. And I don't say that lightly. Low-key, I think she needs a full psychological evaluation. Like, for real. I know she said before that she has therapists, plural, but I'm sorry, I don't believe it. Because there's no way someone in active therapy is still acting out like this. You don't see growth, you see chaos.
Got any scary stories? Besides marrying Gypsy? No. Just a joke. Oh, that was not that funny. She's probably gonna see it and be like, ah. No, she's not. Who gives a damn? We're always way better than the Slayer. Right about, okay, now I get what you're saying. Hey, I appreciate you, but I never called her that. That's terrible. Don't call her that. Of course she says she hasn't had contact with me, of course.
Okay, so Ryan just confirmed for us what we already knew. They are still in contact. This is why Ken won't propose. He has trust issues. GRB always has to have another man in the mix. It's called triangulation. She did it with Nicholas Godejohn. It's ultimately to feel wanted, desired. That is her main objective here. It's what she thrives off of.
Hey, Victoria, many things. I'm sorry, there was many things that attracted me to her. I still think she's beautiful. I mean, even after everything she did to me, I still think she's beautiful. I didn't say that I was happy with her, but it's what it is. I mean, you gotta realize, guys, I married her. I saw something in her that other people don't see.
And then, to make things even messier, Ryan's own family is now jumping into the drama. Apparently his brother's been sliding into creators' DMs saying that the family's embarrassed by Ryan. Like, straight up saying, he's bringing shame to us, he needs to get off the internet and get a job. That's wild. Like, imagine things getting so bad that your own family has to publicly distance themselves from your mess. So now, Ryan's out here ranting on live, going off about Gypsy and his brother, saying stuff like, my brother thinks I'm embarrassing the family, but I don't care. He never respected me anyway. I helped raise his son. Like, he was clearly heated. Then he said, she knows what that means. And honestly, that line gave me chills. Because what do you mean by that, Ryan? What does she know? That sounds like a veiled threat, if you ask me. And the thing is, he admits he shouldn't have said certain stuff, but then he doubles down, saying, I only said it 'cause I knew it'd piss her off. Like, sir, that's literally starting mess. He also tried to play it off like he's over her, saying, I'm good, I'm fine, multiple times. But you know when someone says, I'm fine, 5 times in a row? They are not fine. It's giving hurt ex, still obsessed.
Ryan has always claimed that he wrote her as kind of a joke. His friend was going to write Tiger King, and he was writing Gypsy Rose. But what I want to know, and I have not asked because I don't think I'm going to get The straight up answer is why he ultimately wrote GRB. What was that thought immediately before sending that email? Because he had to know, he knew why she was in there. Or what is the real reason? What was the motivation behind it? Because a lot of people, including myself, have mentioned hybristophilia.
I haven't returned her belongings? What? Go on with that. That shit's gone. I'm worried about that. She said, oh, you can have it. And I took it. So she get over it. And honestly, I've never kept her from coming to get her stuff. That's what's funny too. She's never showed up to get her shit. So that's not my fault either. I wish she'd show up again, knock on the door, and see what happens. Talk about coming to get some shit. Come get it.
Ken, which to me would look like if they had a scene in a ballet, like with men prancing around.
Shit's in storage anyway. Yeah, she did show up with the cops. And the sad part is we were talking. We were on good terms. Like, I helped her through a crisis that morning. Like, that's the problem. Like, she showed up with a cop. Like, why didn't you just come tell me? It's just so weird.
Gypsy is really trying to bamboozle us and make us think that her and Ken are actually sleeping in the same bed when we all know that's not happening. So she posted this story earlier that says, our new bed. But the thing is Ken does not like to be cuddled or touched at all in his sleep. He came out on camera and said that, like, no, do not touch me. Do not come near me while I'm in my bed. Okay, so there's that. This is also the smallest bed I've ever seen. So how is Ken going to sleep in this bed and not touch her or accidentally graze over her? You know what I mean? This is her bed. 100%. This is her room. This is her bed. She also has slipped up a couple of times and said that she moved her stuff into the guest bedroom closet at one point in the old house. I just think they've always slept separately, but she wants to put the narrative out there that they are together in that way. But I just don't buy that. I just don't.
And the funniest part, he called his brother delusional for saying he's embarrassing the family. Like, Ryan, baby, you're the one going live every other night yelling about your ex-wife who's out here doing interviews with her new husband. If your brother's delusional, what does that make you? I feel like Ryan's in denial, deflecting, maybe even projecting, because he's out here accusing everyone else of being the problem, but he's clearly spiraling. And let's be honest, this whole saga is a train wreck. Ryan's melting down on live, Gypsy's spinning her own narratives, Ken looks like he's about to vanish into thin air, and everyone around them is just stuck in the fallout. At this point, I don't even think it's about love anymore. It's about control, power, and ego. Both Gypsy and Ryan seem addicted to the chaos. And poor Ken, he's just collateral damage.
So weird.
Yeah, GRB has confirmed that this is true, and she did talk to him that morning. However, it was done to get him to crash out because they were hoping he would, which he didn't, and they wanted to get that recorded. Also, they were picking up pictures.
Like, I let her walk the dog. I took all her stuff down the car, but she showed up with the cops. Unannounced with the cops, with Christy and Mia and somebody else and the cops. No need to do that at all. And Christy filming it. Secretly, Christy filming it. I'm just saying that so she can sit there and say I haven't given back her stuff or whatever.
Yeah, because they thought he was going to crash out, and she needed that in her back pocket.
And she come get the shit. Yeah, I did. I saw she was very attractive when I saw her the first time. Like in person, absolutely. And I was furious. Why do I defend her? I don't defend her. I don't defend her. I'm tired of people ask me why do I defend her. I just don't attack. Because I gave her my heart. She had my heart. Like, what's the point of attacking?
Well, it would probably be somewhat cathartic and healing for you to talk about it. Additionally, we're only hearing one side, and people know that GRB is not one to come with the facts. I just think it would help Ryan a lot more if he did. I mean, there's other things I want to say, but I just won't in this video.
Rosa, sometimes. Yes, Rosa, sometimes I do. You want the truth? Sometimes I do.
So yeah, this whole situation between Gypsy, Ryan, and Ken is honestly spiraling into something that feels less like drama and more like a full-on psychological thriller. Every day there's a new post, a new live, a new accusation, and somehow it just keeps getting messier. It's giving it mutual destruction energy, and I don't think we've seen the last of it.
No, she was not my first. No. You know, it's funny. People give me shit for talking about her or what I went through, but she can talk about me, and you know, it's just whatever.
And that's exactly why Ryan should tell his side. Some people think he's holding out to write a book, which he has mentioned in the past he may do.
You know, I know what I went through. I know what I wanted. I know what happened and all that stuff. And you know, I could tell y'all some real tea if y'all wanted it. If I wanted to, like, tell y'all some real shit.
That's what we want. We want to hear it firsthand. This is why Ryan should speak his truth and set the record straight.
But what's the point? You know, have I been told I miss you before? Yeah, but nothing changes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know? Yeah, I mean, she's told me she's missed me before, but nothing changes. Like nothing. So, why?
I would love that statement to be defined, like nothing changes, as in GRB doesn't leave Ken.
Divorce wouldn't happen if a lot of things happened. I mean, Christy would have mind her damn business. I mean, just saying.
Okay. I don't know GRB personally, okay? But one thing I do know is her patterns. I have studied that case file. I've read those emails. And I know that GRB would have left Ryan for Ken, definitely. I think Christy just, you know, she facilitated the process and just helped it happen faster. In the prison emails, we see GRB wanting to introduce open marriage to Ryan. She's talking to her father about this, talking about how she's a lot like her father. She cannot stay faithful.
But honestly, what do you think? Do you believe Gypsy's actually spiraling, or is Ryan just doing the absolute most online? Let me know in the comments, because I genuinely need to know whose side y'all are on in this circus. Anyway, that's all the tea for today, babes. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, you're a real one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell so you never miss the next drop, and of course, like this video if you enjoyed hanging out with me and sipping the latest internet chaos. And while you're here, go binge a few more of my videos. Trust me, the next one is even wilder. Alright besties, I'll see you in the next one.